Hi, I'm Yannick Hanfman.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
This is Sebastian Olfner.
It's Marc-Andrea Whistler.
I am Francisco Cerundolo.
And you're listening to the GTL
Podcast.
Hopefully you enjoy it.
Hopefully.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Rome Masters is upon us, and unfortunately, we have lost one of the biggest players in tennis history. Rafael Nadal went out to Hurkacz. It was quite convincing as well, 6-1, 6-3. When is the end coming for Rafa? It feels like it'll be soon. And Novak Djokovic hit on the head with a bottle. Was it an accident? Or was someone in the crowd out to get him, JG? These are the topics we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, let's start with Novak Djokovic because I think it's dominated the tennis news, maybe more than Rafael Nadal. And some of the conspiracy theories I've seen flying around on social media is absolutely ridiculous. At first, I thought it was a joke, and people, like Djokovic fans, some of them were joking about it. I've since realised they were actually genuinely believing that this was not an accidental incident. For those who haven't seen the incident, we did post a short on our channel, or you can just have a look on social media. It's all over the place. I'm sure you have seen it by now. It's as clear as day an accident. There's a young boy, not that young. Sometimes people have over exaggerated the young side of things, and he's leaned over. And a metal bottle has slipped out of his backpack and hit Novak Djokovic on the head.
Yes.
Complete accident. Do you agree? Or are you part of the Paviji brigade?
When I was trying to analyse the video, because it was because it's cut like in such a way that when you see the person leaning over, it's hard to see if the bottle comes from behind the guy leaning over or if it comes straight out like one of the side pockets of his backpack, which if it is the case that it just comes out of that side pocket, and here we go, we'll just have a quick look and you can make your own decisions on this. Like, just have a look here. Look, I mean, yeah, I think it's quite clear that backpack, it sort of just slips out. If it's a metal water bottle that's full of water as well, that's gonna hurt on your head. I've seen a lot of people saying like, this is like on purpose and someone from behind has thrown it and it's just gone past the backpack, and here's like, we've got Panit here.
Well, I understand initially there was a bit of uncertainty. Before the video emerged, I can understand why people would be like, oh, someone's thrown a bottle at Novak Djokovic. Because you wouldn't really know about that video. However, once you've now seen the video, for them people to pursue with the idea that this is done on purpose is ridiculous. It truly is. And I think that says more about them than the incident. The strange thing, I must admit, was after it happened, the guy did not take any ownership of that bottle whatsoever. There was another video surfacing and everyone's saying, whose bottle is it? And he's like, looking around, he pointed at someone next to him.
I mean, it must be so embarrassing though.
I think that's what it is. It's not a case of him trying to avoid ownership. It's more the fact that he's just so embarrassed that he's done that and he just doesn't want any part of it, and I think he left quite quickly afterwards.
Well, plus, if you know what the Djokovic fan base are like, if you're the one who's to be found out to be the guy, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of horrible messages coming your way on social media suggesting you did it on purpose, which some people are. We got
But people are calling now for him to be banned.
Oh, come on. I mean, just let's not go too crazy. I've never seen anything like this happen before. It doesn't look like if someone's launching a bottle at someone's head, I mean, we've seen it at football matches. If they want to launch something at someone, they'll probably hit them and it will go fast and it will go hard, like coins, things like that, if they really want to. A bottle that looks like a bottle that he probably wanted to keep, whoever that person was. Yeah. It wasn't like one you bought from the grounds. It was probably one that he's taken to the event because it's the one he uses on a daily basis. But maybe it had his name written on the inside. Hopefully we could get the bottle back to him at some point. Oh, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, so Panit said, I know everybody's saying the Djokovic water bottle incident was an accident, but far too many people get far too close, and I really hope security is tightened. He is very generous with his time, but I would like everyone to consider his safety.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a person right next to him the whole time, he didn't do too much to prevent anything falling on Djokovic's head. I have to say, just it hit him on the head, and then the security still
Ben,
didn't.
it's a
look
freak
like...
incident. It's a freak incident. You're not going to be able to stop that. I don't think we need now calls for extra security.
Does he
I
want
think we're going to
bulletproof
lose.
vests?
We're going to lose the magic of what we have at the moment, where you have access to tennis players at an event.
For sure.
And all you're going to do is by putting more security, more health and safety, all of these things about woke culture nowadays, which ruin society. It's a bad move, and people calling for that is I don't think the right route to take, because this was a clear mistake. We've got the big freestyle, the conspiracy theories around Djokovic water bottle incident are absurd, clear as day. It was a total accident. Yeah, couldn't say it better myself.
Yeah, and this one Ollie putting out there, just saying that Djokovic was treated at the tournament hospital where he felt nauseous and had slight bleeding, but swiftly left the tournament grounds. No press conference as expected. The person who owned the water bottle says it slipped out of their bag while asking for an autograph. So there's sort of like these things, but we don't know who it is, and I don't think we'll ever find out who it is, and I think that's probably for the best as well. I don't think we need to know who it is. It's clearly an accident, and I just thought, it's not funny, but it's one of these things that happens in a tennis tournament where you get these weird sort of incidents sometimes happen, and I just thought that Djokovic, the way he handled it was probably the best way. I saw a lot of people saying like, "Oh, why has he gone down like a football player? Like, why is he diving?" Like, but
well, I'm a little bit of that side, a little bit, because I don't think it hurt that much.
If it's a metal bottle that comes out of someone's bag from a height and it's
it wasn't
full,
that high.
If it's full as well,
You're assuming it's full.
Let's just
that's
say
worst case. So let's say if it is worst case, it's full. It's come from that height, which wasn't that high,
and you're not
hits you on the head.
It. You might think, "Oh my God, what has someone?"
I'm surprised there was even a mark or any bleeding at all.
It makes me wonder, like, is that just the normal reaction when you're in that type of stature or position, like a Djokovic, like a sports star? If you have they been advised, like, if anything would hit you, to go into that position, because then you can be protected as well?
No, I think he's overly dramatic. You should see him when he falls over in a tennis match and throws his racket. It's just him as a person. I think he is an extremely dramatic player. I think there would be some players who wouldn't have gone down at all in that situation.
Do you reckon if it had hit him in the throat, he would have stayed up? I was going to put that one too. But at least the one thing I can say about Novak Djokovic...
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, exactly. He always takes everything with a pinch of salt, and he will always make comedy out of the best of every situation, which I don't think I've ever seen from any other tennis player, especially at the top of the game either. Yeah. And you see him here coming back to sign autographs the next day with his crash helmet on, just in case there's any more flailing bottles coming from the crowd, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah, I like this. I think it shows a very charismatic side of Novak Djokovic and comedic. No problems with it at all. I think it was. Yeah, it's nice. It adds to him as a person, and I think once he realised it was an accident, then there was no issues from his side, and he's totally fine. Seems like he's going to be playing on with no problems. He's not injured, and he took it in a bit of a fun light, which I think it should have been taken in.
I think sometimes when these things happen, this is like he spots an opportunity for comedy in anything, really, Djokovic. So these type of situations,
he got a lot of views on Twitter.
Yeah, I bet. Like it's one of the. It's a freak accident. That's why it's got a lot of views, but it always opens up the realm for conspiracy these days. I like the fact that there is that, because it does make a little bit more of a like interest around the whole scenario, and Djokovic plays into it as well. But I think everyone can be agreed. If Djokovic says it's an accident, everybody move on.
Agreed.
But somebody who is going to be moving on to the next tournament, unfortunately, and not in the best state, is, well, his friend, buddy, old pal, Rafael Nadal. And, unfortunately losing to Hurkacz in emphatic fashion I don't think the first 2 games of the match helped Rafa really. 27 minutes to get the first 2 games done for a 1-1 scoreline, and then Hubie just took over after that.
It wasn't a good performance. It really wasn't a great one. I thought credit to Hubie Hurkacz. I don't think he put a foot wrong. I thought he levelled up and played some of his best tennis. And if Hurkacz is going to produce that level of tennis, it's going to be tough for a lot of players to beat him. He's one of the top players in the world. On his day, with everything going well in his serve, he's a top 5 player. I really believe that. I think he's so dangerous. Maybe not so much on the clay, but still was able to do it. Nadal, I don't think he was terrible. I think there was spells where we saw some really good moments from him, but that's all it was. We was reliant on moments. And his level there just showed to me that he's not really going to be ready for Roland Garros. I don't really now expect him to win anything this year. There was always that feeling in the back of my mind when I saw him coming back, thinking he wouldn't return if he didn't feel like he could win big events. And I think that is true. But if it's just not coming together and you're not producing the right level of performance in these matches, then it's over. Yeah. And I feel it's actually that bad of a situation where I can see him losing very early on Roland Garros. I can see him not doing very well in the Olympics. And I think he's booked to play the Laver Cup. Is he going to end it all there?
Wow.
Can't see why not. I mean, let's see how the other events go. But
bring back Roger for the Laver Cup, please.
I'm going to make a big statement. I think based off what I've seen, we'll be lucky to see another 5 professional matches of Rafael Nadal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see him playing.
We're getting into the last handful of matches from him. And it seems like that because he's just not able to win. He's able to produce really good moments still. And for watchability, I'm actually still very interested in watching his matches, and I find them quite fascinating. The match against Hurkacz was good. Even the ones before that, he still has some magic moments and hits some really good shots, which you don't see other players do. But it's just not enough. I mean, brilliant for exhibitions, but not professional tennis matches.
Well, this is what I put out a tweet yesterday while I was watching the match, and this was my honest opinion, like, about Rafa, and I feel that it was just a bad person to be playing, because I said Hurkacz is the type of player you don't want to face when you're trying to build confidence. Super consistent, huge serve, great movement, and amazing hands at the net. And I felt a bit sorry for Rafa because he was really trying hard to like get into some rallies, but the power of Hurkacz was. He just wasn't able to. That wasn't the Rafa of old. He wasn't able to persevere through tough moments. And like you said, there's moments of greatness in there. But I saw a really good tweet that came out, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, whenever, that said, in tennis, just moments aren't enough. Like in boxing, this is why you see some some fighters, they can still fight into the later years because it only takes one punch. In tennis, it's never just one punch. It's going to have to take a succession of punches to be able to get someone like Hurkacz out of there, and that's over the course of hours. It's just not realistic when you're playing such a tough sport like tennis to be able to beat the elite players like Hubie Hurkacz if you're not at your top level.
He's a kind soul, Hubie Hurkacz, but he's killed off 2 goats, that's for sure.
Silent assassin.
He killed Federer at Wimbledon, and now Nadal on a clay court. I think just for the clean sweep, he's going to be the person to beat Djokovic at the Australian Open and one of his last matches as well.
Oh God,
I'm calling it now.
There you go. Well, Rafa had this to say. I don't know if you want to take us through what he said after the match.
Yeah, he said, I don't want to make a decision yet. There's 2 possible paths. I think I'm not prepared to compete at Roland Garros because of what I've done today. There's 2 weeks left. We're going to do everything possible to change the situation. Even if it's difficult for me, frustrating, I feel closer to trying. I'm stuck, but I will try as much as possible in these 2 weeks. He will be playing Roland Garros. I'm more or less certain of it. Do I think he's going to do well? No, I think it'll be an early exit. I'm not as confident as I was a few weeks ago. I thought he would have beaten Hubie Hurkacz. He didn't. It was emphatic, the loss. He did say how he was going into this Rome one without holding back now. He's not going to be worried about injuring himself. He's going to just give it his all and see what level, because he doesn't have time. He's running out of time. He needs to just go for it and take the foot off the gas. He apparently, is that what he did? Didn't look like it because he couldn't beat him. So everything's pointing towards a retirement for Rafael Nadal very soon. I don't see him winning many big things, but let me know in the comment section if you agree or if I'm being a little bit too emotional in the recent event of yesterday.
No, I think it's a fair assessment. And that was the one thing I was thinking whilst watching it as well is he just did look like he's done. That's the sad thing. Like, and you can see how frustrated he was in his face as well. Like, where he was normally able to get some of those shots back, keep the rally going, but he looked like he was getting pushed back on the court, and he was nearly at the backboard, just trying to get everything back.
Just looks older, doesn't he?
Yeah,
you can tell he's just older.
Father Time. What can you do? You can't beat Father Time. It will always get, like, it comes for everybody. Djokovic is not exempt either. It will come for him too one day.
Maybe in about 10 years for Djokovic.
Maybe.
Unless a few more bottles hit him on the head.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe it was one of Rafa's relations. No.
But no, it was brilliant to see the reception he got. The amount of fans who queued up outside the grounds. It was so emotional. Incredible. And the Italian crowd love him. There's no two ways about it. You can see the pictures there. They absolutely adore him. I think there was it, I said at the top, was it 15,000 fans at one point?
Yeah. Like
just queuing just to see Rafa. Yeah. Like, this is not just a celebrity or a great sports star. This is like one of the most influential sports people or people in general in the world. There's not many people more influential than Rafael Nadal, and it shows. He gets a really good reception in Italy. He always has done. I'm sure he's going to get a similar one in France, in Paris. And we saw what he got in Madrid as well. So very loved in Europe.
Yeah, most definitely. This is like a picture of him just walking across that bridge for the very last time, waving to all his adoring fans. It must have been an emotional moment. I'm so happy that it was such a big send-off for him there as well. But I feel that this is the Rafael Nadal farewell tour in 2024. Each tournament, it's going to be like this. There's part of me just hopes he just goes to each tournament just so we get to see more of these scenes. I don't want to see him losing, but even if he just pops in just to say goodbye to everybody, I feel genuinely sad to see him not competing at the level which I know he can. And we saw some glimpses of it, that's the thing, but it's just not enough anymore. Djokovic, I mean, I don't think there's any part of him that will look at this and will gain anything.
No.
Like, not any happiness out of seeing like one of his fellow rivals, like,
agreed, yeah.
Like a bit down in the dumps, really. I mean, Nadal would probably be the same, vice versa as well. You don't want to see anybody who's that great a sportsman down on their luck and not able to do the thing that they love. And that's unfortunately what's happened to Rafa right now.
Yeah, exactly right. But let's wrap it up there because I've got to shoot out. We will do another podcast later on, either this evening or tomorrow, regarding some of the other Rome results. This was just taking you through some big action in the two big names of Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. Big incidents happened for both of them, both pretty negative. I feel probably the Nadal one more negative because it feels very final. Djokovic, if anything, is going to probably motivate him to do well. But I know he's going to be playing Francisco Cerundolo at some point. I have a really strong feeling of that. And I think he's going to be in trouble there. So let's wait and see. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and let us know any of your thoughts on anything we spoke about today. Always interested to read. And we'll see you very soon.
See you then.